and gentlemen, for tuning into another episode of Perk Africa. I appreciate you taking the time to listen and hopefully contribute meaningfully to the conversation. The conversation today is on religion and how, from my perspective, religions have always seemed like different paths to the same source. I have with me today a very special guest who was kind enough to grace me with her time. Dashini De Silva is the former president of the Botswana Bhuddist Association, and she's here today to discuss Buddhism with me, its origins, theology, and why she believes it's an ideology or faith worth adopting as an individual. Ms. Dashini De Silva, thank you so much for making the time to speak with me.
Thank you for welcoming me, Litsima. It's my pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you so much. I think it's actually a blessing in disguise that we had a technical problem the first time we spoke, frustrating as it was, because from then to now, I had to really sit and then ask myself, why do I want to know about religion, and what is my goal really for talking about this? Why do I think it's important for me to learn and for others to join me in this journey?
Right.
Yeah, I've questioned a lot of things. I've questioned a lot about a lot, actually. Spirituality obviously being one of them. It is not that my goal is to learn only about Buddhism particularly, but to learn about everything, which is what I believe most people want. From my assessment, as limited as it is, I see all religions as different paths to the same source. So today, for this first episode on religion, I just happen to be talking about Buddhism, which actually to me is one of the most intriguing religions that I've read about.
Right.
Yeah. So tell me more about yourself, your journey in Buddhism, and when you started doing work in Botswana.
Okay. So shall we start with the origin of the Buddhism?
No, you're just going to be telling me more about yourself.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and when you started doing work in Botswana.
All right. So I came to Botswana with my husband in 1987, and I have been involved. I'm an accountant by profession. I've been working at different companies in Botswana, and I have worked with the Buddhist Association, and I have been the president for many years, and I am quite familiar with other religions as well, and a program which they have put together for religious organizations. And I am very happy that all religious organizations in Botswana can come together when there's a need to help guide in certain decisions that the government makes here.
Okay, that's very interesting. And yes, I have seen that about my country, that there are moments where there's this coalition for common good. So tell me now more about the origin and theology of Buddhism.
Okay, so Buddhism is, you could call it a way of life more than a religion, in the sense that we normally a religion would include believing in a God and praying to him, etc. So Buddhism is more looking inwards and developing your own mind and how you react to situations and how you interact with other people in a compassionate manner, and actually the Buddhism itself was originated in North India about 2,600 years ago, and the Buddha is not a god that we pray to, but he was a human being He was born into a very wealthy family. He was a prince, but he was interested in exploring more about life, and he became a monk, and he meditated and developed his mind and discovered this path that we call the Buddhist philosophy. And that is a brief introduction of Buddhism for you.
Okay. There's a different and interesting perspective in Buddhism that many may not know about. You said that you actually are not called to recruit people to Buddhism and make them, say, disciples, but that rather you are called to live according to the principles of Buddhism and welcome anyone who wants to learn or become a Buddhist. So can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yes, that is correct. So the Buddha never wanted anyone to go out there and convert people into our belief. But if anybody like yourself is interested in finding out more about us, then and our practice, then we are allowed to explain and about the religion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So from that perspective, our Buddhism didn't spread as fast as other religions might have done in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But recently, it has become a matter of interest in most Western and African countries as well. Okay. It's mostly it's mostly practiced in the Asian countries. So it has started spreading to other parts of the world because of interest from individuals who are actually keen to know about and practice the ways of Buddhism.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It's very interesting that you bring that up, because I was going to say that I know that the spread of Buddhism in Asia has been incredible. How would, from your perspective, would you say that the spread to Africa has been, particularly Botswana? How do you think that uptake has been, in your opinion, given that, like most African societies, our religious view is largely monolithic?
Right. So, since we do not advocate converting to a region of Buddhism, and anyone who's interested is welcome to discuss and ask questions and find out about Buddhism. Okay, so a lot of young people, especially finding out about how to manage stress in everyday lives, they have turned to meditation and the Buddhist way of practicing meditation. So we do not have large numbers that are interested, but we do have some very keen, especially younger people. And they practice meditation and they learn about Buddhism.
I did say last time how I believe that at the core of Buddhism is the concept of self-mastery, just like you explained about going inward. So tell me more about mindfulness meditation, which I know is a huge part of Buddhist practices. Why do you believe individuals should incorporate mindfulness meditation into their routines?
Right. So our modern societies and the way we live, it creates a lot of stress in our lives and conflicts within ourselves and with other people. And Buddhism practices the mindfulness way of meditation because it is emphasized that one must try and be aware of one's thoughts and actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So meditation is the way forward for practicing that, and maybe, can I say, calming your mind and being present in the moment. And therefore, when you're fully aware of your actions, you would be hesitant to do something that can be harmful to yourself or to anyone else around you. So that way, I think it's very helpful in managing stress in modern life. And also it can be helpful in your studies and how you concentrate on whatever work that you have to do, etc.
Okay, so tell me about, you mentioned something briefly about being fully present. Tell me about the importance of being fully present for each moment, and why you speak a lot about the younger generation and how you see them in our country being the one maybe who reach out to learn more about meditation principles. Why do you think it's very important, particularly for young people whose lives are always in turmoil in some way? Depression seems to be trending. Why do you think it's very important for them to be fully present for every moment in which they interact with others?
Right. So it is all about understanding your own mind, right? And you will see that if you sit down, and right now I'm talking to you, but I could be thinking about what is happening in my garden or in my kitchen or somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I could instead be thinking about planning. Oh, what am I going to cook for dinner tonight or tomorrow? Should I do shopping tomorrow? So if I don't concentrate in the moment, and I'm talking to you right now, I would not be giving you 100% of my attention, right? Yeah, and so it is a little bit like training your mind to concentrate on one thing at a time, and I believe that you can also control your actions and reactions to the outside world if you are in more control of your own thoughts and what you do with yourself.
Okay. I was going to say, you never really know how little control you have over your thoughts until you attempt to meditate. Literally 10 seconds in and your mind loses focus on breath and it's thinking of yesterday, of lunch, of dinner, like you just said.
Yes.
So what advice would you have for people who are willing to try meditation, but they're always frustrated and quitting because of the bad brain?
All right. So when you start off with, don't beat yourself up if you think about other things. Just let your mind wander, but just be aware of the fact that that is what your mind is doing. You understand that, I think? So you bring yourself back to whatever you're doing at the moment, at present. That is the basic way of training your mind. And initially it is frustrating, but once you have mastered the technique, you wouldn't have to sit in a corner quietly to meditate. You should be able to do that most of the day, whatever work that you're doing. You should be able to practice your meditation at the same time.
Okay, so in closing, I want to talk about something that I think is emphasized in Buddhism, which is self. We just discussed how you're not really called to recruit people and make them part of the religion, but you're just to live out the principles.
That's correct.
But focusing on self and one being accountable for their actions is because of things like karma as well. Am I right?
That is correct, yes.
So
we do believe in karma, yeah.
Yes. So I think it may make it difficult. You'll tell me if you think I'm wrong. It may make it difficult in real life for many maybe to follow the Buddha's path, say it's indeed the right path to follow. This, I think it may be because most people who turn to religions are mostly in despair or feeling hopeless or in trouble, and in most cases they're doubting the self, right, that they should believe in and nurture. So they're more likely to be, say, drawn to a path that says, I'll be the carrier of your burdens by laying on of hands. than to another path that says that requires self-introspection and righting of wrongs. So in that situation, how do you make the journey that you are on right now, the Buddha's path, appealing to someone who's in despair and hoping to be relieved of that burden?
Right. So I think the best thing is to practice meditation, and then you will put things into perspective and not overreact to situations. And I believe that meditation could be of help.
Okay. So it would be the same thing. There would be drawn to, I was going to ask this question because obviously you do not advocate or try to recruit people, but you are there on platforms. Do you put out enough information that such that a person could, say, be on Facebook and stumble onto something that they can look at and then probably get on that journey of meditating, self-discovery? Because for them to get on that journey, they do need to be exposed to information about that journey.
That is correct. So we do have a Facebook page. I believe that you contacted us through that as well.
Yes.
Yes. So I would recommend that is the best way to get in touch with us, and then we can obviously talk to you and decide exactly what you prefer to do, and then we can put you in touch with smaller groups that get together, say, to practice meditation or to discuss about Buddhism and help each other.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dashini, for making the time. I've learned a lot today, and this is very interesting, and I think it's necessary conversations that we should be having, especially those of us who are still in a process of spiritual discovery and not just conforming to something because it's what's common. So I wish to keep speaking with you. Probably I'll have you on back in the future, but thank you so much for making the time today.
Thank you very much, Latsman, and good luck with your project.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.